You're jumping to conclusions. I'm literally not. I gave them the benefit of the doubt multiple times until I watched their behind the scenes where they very clearly edited in a hamster falling into a box of fluff that wasn't there. They didn't show a shot from the actual thing to prove it. I don't understand why people are saying that. I don't even know where that's coming from. There would be no reason to set up another shot when the hamsters weren't in harm's way in the first place. They would have just shown the shot from the actual video where the hamster fell into the box of fluff if it was there. It's that simple. It's sketchy to set up a fake drop of the hamster into a box of fluff. Jesus Christ. And yes, it makes me very mad. I just watched a potential another animal abuse channel on YouTube. It's frustrating. That parade around that they're doing something cute or wholesome. What am I looking for? This one? Thanks to resub Bebo.
And today, as we have seen, homes can be built out of almost anything, including shipping containers.
Shipping containers?
Container house.
Container home. Abandoned shipping containers.
Shipping containers.
The shipping containers.
Shipping container homes and tiny home living.
Shipping containers.
Haven't we seen this shit?
Shipping container.
Shipping containers from right here in the River City.
Since the early 2000s, shipping containers have captured the imagination of designers and home builders worldwide. They fit in with the very popular tiny house movement that advocates living simpler and in smaller homes. The corrugated metal exterior of shipping containers gives it a trendy, industrial look. Thousands of shipping containers are discarded.
I don't know anything about shipping
so
container homes, but it doesn't seem worth it.
Responsible and environmentally conscious when one rescues a shipping container from a junkyard and converts it to a home. Along with this mentality is the idea that you are saving money by using waste material as a starting point for your home construction. Container homes are marketed as an affordable solution
now there's
to
a container shortage.
suburban home. These tiny homes are glamorized
get
all over
then,
social media and have a huge
because
following.
we're busy living in them.
Architects in particular seem to have a fascination with modularity, and shipping containers can seem to be the solution to all the world's problems. I admit I wasn't immune to this as an architecture student. Design competitions will usually have at least one entry with proposals such as this shipping container skyscraper that would solve the housing problems in the slums of Dharavi in Mumbai, India. 2,500 shipping containers would be stacked at various angles to create this tower, and their proposal indicates that the shipping container units would be delivered via drones. Google searches yield hundreds of wild, crazy ideas that use repurposed shipping containers for a variety of commercial and residential buildings. But if this is the magical solution to all problems, why don't you see shipping container homes everywhere? Well, we're going to dive into 7 issues.
I mean, I can tell you like a few issues.
First off, the most obvious issue is the size constraints. Standard shipping containers are 20 feet and 40 feet long and 8 feet wide. Most of these containers are 8.5 feet tall, but you can custom order ones that are 9.5 feet tall. To make the shipping container livable, you have to insulate it, add mechanical systems, plumbing, electrical systems, sprinklers, and flooring, so you lose up to a foot of the total height and 6 inches off each side, which
that's not nearly as bad as I would have expected.
Most people who renovate these shipping containers usually order more expensive custom 9.5 feet tall containers like Benjamin Uyeda did for his home in Joshua Tree, California. Since there is barely any wiggle room in height, Mr. Homemade Modern chose to cut into the metal floor joists for his plumbing work. This brings us to the second issue. A metal shipping container works as a system. The idea that every part of this box is structural is false. Every single cut that you make for plumbing, windows, doors, roof openings into its structural frame or corrugated metal siding compromises its strength, so you have to reinforce it with metal or wood. Also, to add insulation to the inside of the container, you have to frame out your walls with wood. Finish the interior.
This doesn't seem like more efficient or anything.
Home construction. Tied to this misconception of the structural nature of shipping containers is the idea that it can support cantilevers. Shipping containers are meant to be stacked on top of each other, like Lego building blocks.
Wouldn't it also attract
the second
lightning?
You don't stack the containers on
I
corners,
feel like that'd be like the
you need
least
to
of your
reinforce
concerns.
the containers with heavy, expensive steel beams. The 4 corner posts of containers should align with the corner posts of the container above or below it to be the most secure. The rails at the top
Is
and
it
the
tier
roof
1
of the
absolute
container are not
insanity?
structural at all.
Oh, sweet.
The roof
Thanks,
of the
Kabuki.
container is made
Have
of
a good night.
light-cage steel and will dent easily if you step on it. The only structural
It's meant
parts
for
are the corner
recycling shipping
posts.
containers, but not for mass use on its own.
So all those
Gotcha.
double-wide container homes that you see on YouTube with an entire sidewall blown out to make more space have had expensive steel reinforcement. At that point, you are using the shipping container just for the corrugated metal aesthetic and nothing else. The third issue with these shipping container homes is the thermal conductivity of steel. It's not a good insulator, so you can expect the inside of these containers to get very hot in summer and very cold in winter.
Well, yeah, I feel
If
like
you
anyone
insulate
would
the
know that,
inside
right?
of these containers,
Like, there's not
there
much
will
you
be
can
a
really
big
do there.
temperature difference where the hot
Just gonna
air
be like
from
fucking
the
going in
outside
there and being
meets the
miserable. Might as well
cold
just sit outside.
inside air, or vice versa, which can cause mold and rot inside the home. The logical thing to do is to insulate the outside of these containers and add additional cladding like this couple did, but then you lose the appealing corrugated metal aesthetic.
Oh yes, the
fourth
appealing
issue is the
shipping
health
container
risks that come
aesthetic.
with
Yum
buying
yum yum.
old shipping
Looks
containers.
cool.
You can track down the locations that the container has been to around the world, but you can't track exactly what it has carried. So it could have carried toxic chemicals such as pesticides or fumigants, and
True.
the contents could have leaked into the wooden floorboards. For that reason, some states like California only allow single-use containers to be repurposed into homes, so that you can track exactly what it has transported. Also, the paint used on these shipping containers is meant to withstand the harsh conditions out in the oceans, so it can contain phosphorus and chromium and other carcinogenic elements.
Oh my god.
Fifth, this type of building is not the best in
I
all
didn't even think of
locations.
that.
It might make sense in coastal regions near port cities where a shipping container is readily available. But if you are inland, the cost to transport it all the way to your plot of land is not logical. Also, building with native materials is the most eco-friendly and cost-effective method. In the States, wood construction is the cheapest. In other countries, it could be CMU block or clay bricks. Vernacular construction methods make
Yeah,
the
but these
most
don't look
sense
as cool
because
as a
they are
shipping
adapted to the
container.
local climate. Shipping container housing could work in places that have material shortages or places recovering from natural disasters where a prefab, factory-built temporary shelter is required. Sixth
Yeah,
is
but
the
is it
idea
worth
that
the
you are
risk,
saving
though?
the environment when
I'd be
you use
worried
shipping
about chromium
containers,
and shit.
and that it's a highly sustainable practice. I
Thanks to Prime
understand if you're
Yamaduki.
using something meant for the landfill, but if you are using a brand new shipping container, what's the point? Or if you're using a one-time use container like you would have to in California, then that container would be put to better use transporting goods across seas and oceans, which is the purpose it's meant to serve. Even if you are in a country that doesn't have
Big
this
shipping
one-time
doesn't
use
want you
law,
to know about
these
this.
shipping containers are tossed around at sea
Yeah, it seems
and
like
aren't in the
shit.
best condition.
Probably best
To
not knowing
find one
about it.
suitable for your home, you're probably going to have to buy a new one. Also, because of the thermal conductivity of steel, the inside of these shipping containers is going to sweat, and you cannot use organic insulation like cotton. You would have to use materials that aren't as environmentally friendly.
Yeah, and a surprise to no one, shipping container homes aren't great. I would have expected as much. You keep asking about the iDubbbz video, man. I already talked about that. Of course I fucking seen it, man. I'm not surprised Rice Gum turned it down, but I'm definitely not boxing. I'd get my shit rocked. I don't want to get hurt. People are calling out the hamster channel. Look up awful hamster Squid Game harmful pet trends. Okay. Oh, you're right. So one channel called it out. I'll watch it later. I won't harp on it too much. I'll look into it myself. Have you heard of extreme ironing? Of course I have. Exit Prime Echo. From richest player to prison. That's about the RuneScape guy. I know the story. Dramatize me? No. Not tonight. We caught up on Dramatize. Well, we didn't catch up, but we watched a few videos from Dramatize Me last time. Have you watched Ahoy? It sounds familiar. I think we've seen some from them. Haircut fails.